Hey, I'm Evan.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to USSC Stories.
The broken and falling, damned old souls been sent to burn. Nowadays they've been calling, telling me soon gonna be my turn. Head down.
And welcome back to the USSC Stories. I'm Mike, Evan, and what I got next to me is good friend, long friend, brother to me, Chris, man. We've been friends for about 12, 13 years. He's been with me through majority of my journey, or all of my journey through the military. There's been stories, stuff I've been able to tell him. There's some things that he don't really know too much because he wasn't in, but no, he got some questions and everything for us. So, Chris, why don't you go ahead and start us off, man?
I appreciate y'all for having me. With love and respect, thank you both for serving our country. I hope I speak for every person in America when I say that. But first question is, I just want to know what you guys' first impression was when you met in South Carolina.
First impression.
First impression of Mike.
Yeah, well, the dude was funny as fuck, man. He just came off that way, dude. He was a hilarious guy. He'd make these stupid, sometimes off-color jokes and shit that we'd all fucking crack up about, And yeah, he was a good guy. Unfortunately, by the time he got there, I was almost on my way out of South Carolina, so we didn't get to chill as often as we could have. But yeah, dude was funny.
Yeah, that boy Evan, man. My first impression with him, man, he was already kind of like a big dog in the department, so everybody knew him, man. Gibbous and shit like that. So everybody talked about Gibbous. But he was real like a nonchalant type of dude, funny, had that same dark humor that most Americans had. So he was real cool. And then motherfucker was a delight to party with, man.
Yeah, we definitely had some good times at the parties, man. I'll tell you what.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. So I know the down Periscope was you guys' I guess best representation of the Navy and being on the submarine.
It's definitely one of the best depictions of a submarine life. Yeah.
I haven't watched that yet. I am going to watch it. However, I just want to know what you guys' favorite military movie is that is not down Periscope. That's like, oh, that's pretty close, or it's just your favorite.
For me personally, Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
It's crazy story with Marcus Luttrell, Navy SEAL, who survived. The rest of his squad got killed over there in Afghanistan. And yeah, man, he's probably talked the story to death by now. It's been over 10 years. I mean, that was back in 2005 that happened. So, but seeing the movie, obviously they took some liberties on it and everything like that. But seeing the movie and what he describes he has to go through, man, it's almost unreal, man.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing. Lone Survivor was probably, I didn't really know too much of the story before I watched the movie. Once I watched the movie, it was like, damn, man, that shit crazy. I can't believe it's based off a true story. Then whenever I actually read up on it and everything like that, like just kind of made it that much better knowing that, hey, that shit was actually for real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. So like I based on what I've heard you guys say, like joining the military for y'all wasn't like an overnight decision. So like what was y'all's like initial thought or whatever happened to that, like the final thing was like, I'm joining the Navy?
Yeah, for me, man, my dad was in, my uncle was in, I had family members that was in before, and I really did want to go to school, and I talked about that before. Like, I just didn't think school was going to be, for me. Military was kind of like a last resort type deal, but I actually ended up meeting a recruiter that was, super cool, super down to earth, and he didn't embody like military to me. And I felt like I was talking to like an uncle or something like that, right? So
So you dug who he was. Basically.
Yeah, I dug who he was, his stories that he was telling, and man, I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go down do it. Now, did it? It was a weird kind of getting that transition. It was because some of the feedback that I was getting, some of the stuff like that, kind of deterred me. Do I really want to do this or not? But man, fuck it. At the end of the day, I'm about to go out here and do God shit, man.
Yeah, the Lord's work. Yeah, man. the initial event that wanted, kind of prod me in that direction, obviously for me, was 9/11. I was, I mean, I was in 7th grade then, or 8th grade. So that was a while ago. But yeah, like Mike said, at the end of high school, man, I was just like, I'm fucking tired of school. Don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to college, so that thought was always in the back of my head, go to the Navy or whatever, or go to the military. So I tried to go to the Marines. The usual story: Marines are out to lunch. So the Navy guys got me, and yeah, I mean, the rest is history from there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for running towards it, because after 9/11, I was around the same age, Evan, and I ran the other way. So,
I mean, it's not for everybody.
Sure.
I don't knock at people that didn't serve. I don't knock people that did. So it's not for everybody, and not everyone that's in the military really should be there anyways. So, people have their own life choices.
Yeah, and then I tried to push away from the military because my dad used to have this rule where once you graduate, you got 6 months to decide what you want to do. You're going to either go to school or you're going to the military. And he kept pushing that shit. And then, like, knowing that he was in there, knowing that all my family was in there, I was like, man, I don't want to follow that same path. I never actually had a real thought of going to the military until I actually ended up talking to like I said, the recruiter, and then that kind of changed my perspective on everything.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, plus I have an older sister. She went to the Air Force before me, and my dad, he was a contractor for a while when he was younger, for like shipyards and stuff. So I kind of had an idea of what it was, military life was like and stuff like that. And me being a young guy, I just wanted to be Billy Badass anyway. So
Got you. Okay. So, like, what was y'all's best or worst experience while being in the Navy?
Oh shit, Mike, you want to take this one away first?
Hey, that's actually a good ass question, man.
Yeah.
I think the best moment was, getting my dolphins, man, getting my warfare pen. I think just the stress of the qualification to be on the boat, you're working day and night, you're not sleeping, you're not getting no real time to yourself. You can't have personal time because you're qualifying, you're studying, you're doing all this shit to get where you need to be at on the boat. And then, man, the day they put them fish on me, and then I was able to sit in like the cruise mess or the cruise lounge and watch a movie and not worry about get your nub ass out of here or whatever like that. Like, I don't know, it just so much stress off of my shoulders, so much weight off my shoulders after that, man.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Getting your dolphins was probably one of the highest points, for sure, for the same reasons. You're part of the brotherhood. You don't get treated like shit, shit like that. Low points, I mean, a lot of times when you're deployed, bro, like life passes you by,
Yeah.
and that's just how life is.
Yeah.
You'll be out to sea thinking about people back home, or
Yeah.
what else is going on. You're stuck in a steel tube,
Almost
with
like
this-
a time capsule, I guess. Like,
it does feel like that sometimes. Yeah.
That's how it was. I mean, when you're out to sea, you're out to sea. You got email, but that's very seldom.
Yeah.
And you don't have Facebook, phone. So, for however long you're out, you don't know what's going on in the outside world. They don't even know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
So, when you finally come back, it's a rejoicing moment. I say that's probably another good feeling. But while you're gone, you just don't know. That's that, like, the living in the unknown. That's a horrible feeling sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it could be from anything, you're wondering what your woman's doing back home, or you could have had a family member die, but you don't know that, and sometimes they won't tell you when you're on deployment just because of reasons, or if they do, they might wait a little while. So I mean, your family might have known that a family member died 3 weeks ago, and you're just finding out about it or something like that. But it's not always like that. Everyone has those dark episodes when they're where they're deployed and stuff, man. Your brain is like your worst enemy. It'll trip you out for sure.
Yeah, life in general, really.
Yeah, man. But there's good times too. Like Mike said, getting your dolphins is awesome. Man, like when one of my first deployments when we were pulling into Hawaii, we had a surface it was like 4 a.m. or something like that, and I was the lookout, and just like seeing the sun coming up over the ocean and shit. It's like one of the memories I'll never forget. It was really awesome, and I'm thinking like, well, people back home, they'll never fucking experience this bullshit. This is something I can carry with me. So.
The special time we were pulling into Hawaii, and they had dolphins jumping under the bow. They jump over the bow, and I was like, dude, that's the coolest shit ever, man. Like, I never thought I'd be able to see something like this, man. Like jumping over the ship, just playing. Yeah. Like that's just dope.
They're just playing with each other and stuff, and you're just like kind of watching, like, oh man, that's awesome, dude. Yeah.
So like when you guys were in those dark places, like just those downtimes about being in the military, just they grind. Like what got you through it? Like what did you do to like persevere yourself out of? Because both of you actually did. Both of you said you got your dolphins. So how did you like get out of that?
Routine, man. You gotta have a routine. You wake up, eat, go on watch, get off watch, do some work, then go work out, eat, sleep, repeat. That was mine, anyways. Yeah. We've said in a few episodes, I don't like to compare it to prison or jail, but they have to have a routine, or else they'll go crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously we have a lot better than jail, but the same mentality, your brain will actually fight against you if you don't find some sort of routine.
Yeah, then believe it or not, man, some of the people that you serve with, some of your shipmates on the boat too, help alleviate some of that stress, man, because you could be just shooting the shit in the head or the bathroom, whatever we call it, the head.
Yeah, please break those down. I don't know what you're talking about.
So on a bathroom in the Navy, it's called the head. So we'd be in the head shooting the shit, or sometimes. Shooting the shit or whatever, or just you have those group of guys you can connect with it. If you're having a bad day, they can feel you having a bad day. They'll fuck with you. Then you kind of just get your mind out the funk during that period, and then everything else like what the fuck I was sad about. Man, I'll get over this shit, whatever, real quick.
Talk about the head, bro. So one thing that I always found annoying, right? So on a submarine, we wear sneakers, right? We don't wear boots. We wear sneakers. Okay. So you'll be in the bathroom just trying to take a shit or something, and someone like see your sneakers and they know exactly who you are, and be like, "Hey, Gibbs, what are you doing in there?" Hey, they're fucking with you and stuff. Like, God, leave me the fuck alone, trying to take a shit and everything,
Man, dude, they did this thing on my boat once called Thunder, Lightning, and Rain. Have you ever heard of that shit? So they like you said, you find somebody who's in there shitting, so you can see who underway shoes it is. You be like, oh shit. Man, that's Davidson right there, man. Yeah. So they did this thing, Thunder, Lightning, and Rain. So it's like, here comes the thunder. So what they'll do is get the trash can, and they'll beat the trash can for the thunder, flick the lights for the lightning, and then they'll fill up the trash can with water and dump that motherfucker over.
No.
Well, you hear somebody, here comes the thunder. You're like, hey.
Trying to zip up real quick.
Like, hey, what back on? Yeah, like, hey man, what the fuck? Like, here comes the lightning. Like, hey, don't you do that dumb shit. And here comes the rain, and you see the fucking water coming over you. Like, oh, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, man, we're a bunch of pranksters, man. Everyone on submarine fucks with each other one way or another. That's just how the lifestyle is.
It kind of seems like camaraderie is another way to kind of get you out of that funk. So, like, what was you guys like? Who was your best shipmate? Like while you were in the Navy?
I wouldn't say I had a single individual dude I always leaned on. We all had cliques and stuff like that. We're cool with everybody, well, mostly everybody, but everyone was all clicked up, with their own groups. And everyone handled their own stresses their own way and stuff. I was part of the pranksters. we pranked each other all the time. My buddy Bombard, one of the stories he did to me. I was driving the sub. We might have talked about this already, but I'm not sure. I was driving the sub, and he was the messenger. And the messenger, he does like wake ups and coffee runs and stuff like that. And then like if the dude's like driving the sub need to take a piss, he'll take over and they can take a piss. So anyways, I was on the stern planes, and Bombard, my boy Bombard, was the messenger. And I'm like, and he's doing a drink run. He's like, hey, Gibbs, you want some coffee or something? I'm like, hell yeah, man. So I gave him a cup, you know. Unbeknownst to me, in the coffee mess, he filled up my drink, but he put super glue all around the top rim of my cup, and he sealed it, right? So he comes back, he's like, here you go, bro. Here's your drink. All right, cool. You know, he thought that the top, like his whole prank was just like, so I couldn't open it. Right. But I actually got it opened, right? And I took a sip out of it, and he's just watching me like, right? And when I closed my mouth, that's when the shit sealed, but I couldn't open my lips. I was like, And he fucking got me, dude. I'm looking at him like, he's like, yeah, dude. So he wouldn't relieve me, and I had to go to the bathroom and just try to fucking peel my lips apart. Oh, dude.
God, how did you get them unstuck? Like,
just like I said, it just kind of like,
dang.
So there's a bunch of shit like that. We have a ton of pranks that we did.
Did any of these pranks turn physical? Because there's a lot of men, a lot of testosterone every now and then. What was some fights, funny fights that y'all witnessed or been a part of?
There were fights. I don't think any of it was caused by pranks and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just like you're pissed off, he's pissed off, or he really done something fucked up or something like that. Yeah, in particular, I'm not too sure. I'm sure something would come to mind for me. I don't know, Mike, you got something?
Yeah, most of my fights came at boot camp, and now not necessarily on the boat, but boot camp was where all the fucking fights once the lights shut out and fucking our damn drill, our versions of drill instructors left. You know, everybody used to come up, and we always had that one fucking jackass. Come on, guys, we can do it. You know,
yeah, trying to get all motivated and bullshit.
They always had that one fucking motivated. Then like you had 2 or 3 people like co-sign and shit.
Be looking at him like, "Hey, shut the fuck up! We got to wake up in 2 hours, man."
Right. So we did this thing called training time. So remember training time out at boot camp. Like you had to put your hand up, called training time out.
If someone got hurt or something.
If somebody got hurt, he was about to die, some shit. Yeah. So we modified the shit to throwing up the T for training time out. Right. So one dude was like, "Hey, training time out." And then once we threw that, you end up going into the damn laundry room and throw hands if you needed to, or if somebody threw out the T and then say training time out, you're about to get slid.
Yeah, well, I don't think we had any fights in boot camp. I do remember one time when I was a nub. I probably told this story already. When I was a nub, I'd just come off a watch, right? So I'd been up all night, and for us, well, especially for nubs, you still have to work, you know, the next day and stuff like that. Even though you just come off a watch, so you're tired and everything, you're fucking sleepy. And for me as a yeoman, you know, I had to do especially the most junior yeoman in my division. I had to do all the bitch work, you know, file the papers away, make the POD, the plan of the day, and all kinds of stuff. And my chief at the time, you know, he loved to fuck with nubs. He was one of those guys. He loved to fuck with nubs. He was a good guy and everything, right? Once I got my fish, but you know, when you're a nub, you better watch out. So I'm over here filing some stuff away. I'm grouchy, aggravated, and tired, you know, because I just been up for, you know, 24 hours plus, and I found some stuff away. And then, you know, when she starts fucking with me, like, give us, you know, why the fuck you so dumb, or, you know, some stupid shit like that, you know, just trying to jab at me a little bit. I'm like, Chief, just leave me alone, man. You know, I'm just trying to fucking work here so I can go home. And he kept prodding me. And then eventually, like, he picked up this, like, cardboard box, and he threw it at me, right? He didn't throw it hard, but he, like, threw it at me just to fuck with me a little bit more. And it hit me, and I kind of snapped. So I picked it up, and I fucking threw it as hard as I could, and it hit him right in the face. And he just kind of paused in the doorway and looked at me, looked at the other guys. He's like, get out. He locked the door, and man, we definitely settled it in there. But afterwards, we were cool. Even though I was a nub, he still kind of fucked with me when I was still a nub after that, but not as much because you know, we handled it. And then once I got my fish, dude, we were real cool. I actually had a lot of respect for him. Yeah.
So like, you guys do a lot of traveling, of course, being in the military. So, like, what was the best place that you went to or culture that you got to experience while just traveling around?
Well, I didn't get to go anywhere, so no. Like, yeah, on BNs, the ballistic ones with the nuclear bombs, we sink to the bottom of the ocean, and that's about it. I was posted in Washington State. I got to see a little bit of Hawaii. I never actually got to touch the land, but I was there. Obviously, South Carolina, and then all our schools that we had to go to, like Connecticut, Mississippi, and Chicago. I had a really good time in Washington State. Met a lot of great people up there. I love the weather. I'm from Florida, where it's hot and humid all the time, and then in Washington, it's just the opposite. It's cold and rainy, which a lot of people wouldn't like, but I actually loved it. And then South Carolina was a blast too, because we're on shore duty. Met a lot more great people and stuff, and a lot of parties. It was a really chill job too. I mean, it wasn't that much work there at all. Yeah. So Mike will probably have some stories about actual countries and shit though.
Yeah, so I've been to Japan.
Nice.
Japan.
Oh yeah,
Japan. Saipan, then Japan. Guam, then Japan again. Singapore, Japan. But no, I say really Japan was probably one of the nicest places I've been to, just for their level of cleanliness, the respect for each other. Everybody's kind of like kept to themselves type deal, especially going down to Tokyo, seeing like they celebrate Comic-Con like every goddamn day.
Yeah.
Just seeing different like technology places and all that. I mean, it was just dope kind of actually seeing, that you always hear about how advanced Japan is and shit. When you actually being there, it's like, fuck, like this. Like when I went there, they was already developing, I think, the PS4 at the time, and you can get one, but it was all like Japanese script and everything like that, and it was way before they even released in the States. So I was like, damn, this shit is dope as hell.
Yeah, how do they feel about Americans there? I mean, like, I know how they don't fuck with us.
Nah, they don't fuck with us, man. They got places there where it's like Japanese only.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll tell you, like, I walked to this one, like, oh shit, they got karaoke for the shit going on, man. Let's go over there, man. We drunk and shit. We walk in, he's like, oh no, Japanese only. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, this. like, there wasn't even a sign out there that said Japanese only. They hired a motherfucker to come out there like, Japanese only. Like,
you're popping out a bush. No.
Motherfucker jumped out the curtains, goddamn. Like, hey, shit, my fault, bro. I ain't mean to offend you, man.
Yeah. I heard similar stories to that with Hawaiians, like the natives in Hawaii. They don't like Americans very well.
Yeah.
Particularly.
And that's when I say that about Japan, I mean, that's when you actually go into like non-American populated places in Japan, because like they got Yokosuka, that's the base where the naval base is at. So it's Americanized to a sense.
Yeah. But
once you actually like go away from Tokyo to like most traditional Japanese like towns and shit, like they welcome some American tourists and shit, but for the most part, there's a lot of like, hey, Japanese only spots.
I can understand it though. I mean, like, people got their fucking traditions and stuff, and different customs and respect and shit like that. They don't want just anybody coming up on their shit and stuff. Yeah. I can understand it. You
would think karaoke would be cool.
you think? You never know. I mean, like, well, even here in America, right? It's sad to say, there's certain places that certain people can't go. You know what I'm saying? So, some people just don't like other people.
Yeah,
that's true. So, like, y'all have been in the military, of course. So, like, what is the military like missing as far as just basic training, A schools, your actual job when you transition out? What are they doing that they shouldn't be doing, and what should they be doing that they're not?
So that's a good question, man. So we've talked about this a few times, Mike, of the transition of how the Navy is now compared to how it was when we went in, compared to how it was before we got in. And everyone that I've talked to that's either in our time experience period, you know, and before. They keep saying the Navy gets softer and softer every year. And to me personally, I don't think it's a good thing, you know. You're literally joining a group, you know, mechanized for war. You know, I don't think it should be, you should keep, you know, softening up your rules and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That would probably be my biggest issue.
Yeah. And then once I was transitioning out, even when I was on the boat going to South Carolina, there was a lot of push for more individuality instead of like team. Like they pushed you to make sure you had, you know, your collateral duties, something where you can stand out, so you can stand out, so you can stand out. And in doing so, you know, you got people that get big heads or get arrogant, or the egos and shit get the best of them, to where like you're not looking out for your fellow man. You know, you're more looking out for yourself, or how to make you look good while shitting on other people. And I saw that happening a lot.
I'd love to, dude, I would love to get an officer on here one day and see what they say about the officer community. Because I've heard for officers, it's very, it's almost like more political to them than it is for us. Like it's a very, very career standard thing for them. Getting the next step, getting the next thing, for them to keep going up and stuff like that. And I mean, it's cool. Like I understand, like you got to be ambitious and stuff and be individuals and stuff like that. But I could see, like Mike was saying, that can be kind of almost toxic in a way if you get it out of hand. I think one of the other big issues in the Navy, and I think in the military in particular, or overall, I mean, is our transitioning out of the military. What is the class called?
TAPS.
TAPS.
Yeah.
I don't think they do a good job of TAPS. I don't, a week, like we were in for 7 years, and they give you not even a full week, to be honest. It's, of cramming all this bullshit into your head to be a civilian. And once that day, the last day is over, it's basically they give you the boot, like, hey, good luck, they don't really give you much help transitioning and stuff. And I can see why a lot of people, when they get out, have a hard time. And to be honest, why a lot of vets, when they get out, they turn to drugs, booze, and suicide,
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, do you guys feel like you get the adequate respect from just regular everyday people like me, or even the government, after you leave the military?
For me, I don't really care for the, if I'm not doing it for the respect and stuff like that for other people. And besides, I don't expect it. That's their own decision. There's people that don't like people in the military, and that, that's fine. That's their right. And there's people that is, and if they show that gratitude, then I'll be, I'll respect that, and I'll say, thank you and shit. I'll have gratitude towards them.
Sure.
But I'm not expecting anything from the civilian population at all. And other government entities, I mean, you can't really expect much from them either.
Yeah, the government, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's, they do their own shit. The civilian side, there was times where if I was on leave or if I was doing whatever, I didn't want to have nothing on me that associated military, because I didn't want people to feel like they had to come up and talk to me and ask me these questions. And I was going to be like really reluctant to, talk about it. One, to me, it was like a job. It was a job. I didn't go to war. I didn't do all that shit, whatever. But we still had an intense type job, whatever.
Yeah, that was another thing. I kind of felt guilty. There was a few times I would fly home with my uniform and shit. You get free drinks and stuff like that sometimes, and upgrade to first class. You take advantage of that shit.
Yeah,
Probably not nowadays, but that was like kind of early on. But you do kind of feel guilty in a way, because like Mike said, we didn't really have a job that was in a combat role or anything like that. You got people that actually got fucking blown up and shot and stuff. So yeah, a lot of times you wouldn't want to, I wouldn't say you wouldn't want to associate yourself with the military when you're going home, but you don't want to like
draw the attention,
because, you know, you will have people coming up that's, you know, thanks for your service, all that stuff. And you get this kind of awkward pause. I think every military person, when someone says that to you, you know, get this kind of awkwardness, like you don't know what to say, you know, because it's like, yeah, but I'm not really like a fucking war hero or anything, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm just doing a job.
Yeah. But I was like, yeah, but I record, like, I route lead chits and I write instructions, bro. Like, I'm behind the desk and drive submarine shit. But if you knew what the fuck I actually did on a day-to-day basis, you'd be like, that's it. You know,
I can type fast. That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm not gonna knock anybody if they wanna, you know, have show gratitude and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. But
all means, yeah.
of course, could be me personally. I feel like if you work for our country, you should, when you get done, you should have a tax-free life, and you shouldn't have to worry about your house. That's just me. And then like because you actually had a job for our country, I feel like you getting free drinks if you got your uniform on. That's just a perk. Like, you know what I mean? That's just how I feel though. But I do want to thank you guys both for being so like genuine and transparent in your stories that you share with us on this channel, because I think you're helping a lot of people just as far as just being vulnerable, and you're giving people courage to, you know, speak up when they feel away. So like when both of you guys have had battles with mental health. So like, what was some of the ways that you got yourselves out of that dark place to get back to where you are now? I understand it comes in waves. So are you guys taking like current steps to kind of stay ahead of it? And then like, what are you doing to help others?
I think one of the biggest things that we did, well, for me, I'm sure for Mike, is actually starting this channel.
Right.
You know, we reached out, I reached out to Mike, you know, probably 4 months ago now or so. And then he reached out to me and stuff like that. We told that story a few times now. And, you know, it's good to reach out to people and stuff like that, man. Going through the darkness by yourself, that can be a super big problem, you know, for anyone. When you're trapped in your mind and stuff and you think the world doesn't know what you're going through, the world doesn't care what you're going through kind of thing, that can lead to some serious bullshit. So, again, you know, you got to find a routine in life too. You know, if you can't be happy, be busy. Because if you're busy, you don't have time to be in your head. So,
Okay.
Yeah, you hit it on the head with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then like for like a person on the outside that like just wants to help get you out of that space. So like, is there something like a sign that we should be looking for? Because when I did some research on it, it's like the number one like sign of it is happy. So like, you know, you assume the person who's happy is actually happy. So like, is there anything else that we should be looking for to just be like, oh, this is something I need to look out for? And is there something we can do to help in that?
I don't know. I mean, it's like you know, military people and civilian people, it's not like we're aliens or something. We're all people. We're all the same. You know, we just have different jobs. So it's not going to like really differentiate when we have particular problems that a lot of military people go through, but it's not something other people can't go through or can't relate to. You know, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whatever the hell they are, that can actually see signs in different people and stuff like that. Some people can hide their problems really well, I think. You know, they can be happy-go-lucky all the time, and then at home they're crying their eyes out. And then some people just don't mask their emotions at all. To be honest, I mean, just if you're buddies with somebody and you know them for a while, I think eventually you'll figure out like their own particular moods and stuff like that. As far as strangers go, I mean, you know, just be a nice person to them, man, because you don't know what people are going through.
Sure. Yeah, it's you gotta kind of learn people patterns in a sense. Because for me personally, I can't tell you when I got something wrong with me if I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you got people that's close to you or you see something like, hey, kind of a little different, you know, hey, reach out, you know, never feel like you can't reach out. The best thing you can do is reach out. That person may feel annoyed or whatever like that. They may feel like, hey, like leave me alone, I'm cool. But you don't understand how much power reaching out to somebody actually has. And yeah, that's.
I know a lot of people like, especially I'll say for me, for example, sometimes when I got one of those dark days or whatever, or I'm in a depressed mood, you don't even know why you're fucking feeling that way, right? So if someone asks you like, hey, you good and stuff, you're like, yeah, because you don't want to explain like, hey, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, because you sound stupid when you say like I don't know why I'm depressed. Like, well, why are you depressed? I don't know why. It's just so a lot of people just kind of hide the way they feel because of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, just like I said, or Mike said, people that you'll notice certain patterns about them in life and shit like that. If it seems off, then check up on them. And as far as strangers go, man, just treat them with respect, and if they've earned your respect, and be a good person to them.
Okay. Cool. That was all my questions, guys.
Yeah, cool, man.
Pretty good questions though. I ain't gonna lie. You stumped us a couple times.
I was trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty dope. All right, cool. Mike, you got anything else for us?
Oh man, I think I'm all good, man.
Yeah, man. All right. So yeah, dude, it was real cool having you on here with us. It was like Mike said, that was some pretty good questions. He actually stumped me a couple of times how to think about some stuff.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, guys, the usual stuff, man, like, subscribe, all that. And it's good having you guys with us.
Coming up ahead now.